Hello guys, I will explain in detail what is happening with respect to NIO, Tesla SPY, and TQQ. Additionally, I will talk about some other shares and what the market is saying. Some significant news has just come in, and look at what's happening with NIO share price, because some important news has arrived. But before I delve into all of these in more detail, let's begin by discussing what's happening in the market. The market saw a 6.59% increase today. We received a great bounce, and I had previously mentioned that there was a triple bullish divergence developing on NIO, and we might see an upside move soon. I thought it should have at least reached around 7.8, which was close to our EMA 200 at that time. However, it started to rise even more rapidly because of some bullish news. But the question is, how will NIO move tomorrow? And what are the chances? I'll talk about this in more detail shortly. But first, let's discuss some news. Alphabet, which is Google, provided some significant news. They announced their earnings, and they performed well on paper. Revenue was good. However, there was a decline in their cloud revenue, which raised some concerns. After a slight slowdown in their core advertising methods, investors became more worried about the impact of the overall economy and Google performance compared to its competitors. There was more concern, which led to some selling pressure, which I think has been somewhat exaggerated because they had done quite well, except for the slight dip in cloud revenue. So it seems that their sharp decline may not be justified. It's up to the investors to decide, but you can say that this is a bit of an overreaction. In addition to this, Microsoft also announced its earnings, which was quite important. They showed a 27% increase in profit, which was good news. They also performed well in terms of EPS and achieved a 13% increase in revenue. Their intelligent cloud segment generated more than $24 billion in revenue, which is good for them. Microsoft sales of Windows operating system licenses also saw an increase, so Microsoft earnings were good. This helps keep the market stable, and their stock has increased by 4% as a result. Microsoft's situation was not as dire as Google, so we are now watching how Google performs. I believe their earnings were not as bad as the sharp drop suggests, so let's see how they recover from this. However, there are some important events coming tomorrow. Tomorrow, Meta earnings will be announced. After that, we'll have news from Amazon on Thursday, and there are some significant events scheduled for tomorrow. New home sales will be released 30 minutes after the market opens, and then some new data for Treasury at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time, which might be important at 1:00 p.m. Additionally, Jerome Powell will give a speech shortly after the market closes. These are my predictions. The upcoming speech by Jerome Powell could potentially lead to an uptrend in the market, which is scheduled to take place after the market closes on Wednesday. However, following Powell's speech on Thursday, there might be a downside in the market, possibly as a risk. Currently, considering the GDP numbers, we should keep an eye on events related to GDP growth rates, as they can significantly impact the market. So be prepared for this and consider it in your decision regarding NIO. NIO now has a completely new ES8, which is performing well as a designated vehicle for the G20 Entrepreneurship Roundtable. This is good news for them. Furthermore, there's some positive news among analysts that NIO may be making itself more self-reliant as they have opened the door to bidding for large manufacturing facilities. This could be very beneficial for them. Up to this point, the company hasn't disclosed the name of any buyers for their factories, but the possibility of a buyer being around is there, according to Morgan Stanley. If NIO starts to control its production more, it could potentially reduce the risks associated with supply chain disruptions, which is good news for them. There are more positive opinions from other analysts as well. Over time, this can help NIO. Additionally, there is quite a bit of excitement surrounding this news. Currently, NIO volume is approximately 43 million, so we have more volume and buying happening. Deutsche Bank still suggests buying these new shares at their lowest prices because they believe you are getting a good deal. Compared to the current price, NIO is slightly lower in the market, but it's making a slight comeback because buyers are returning. So we are watching how this develops. For NIO daily seasonality, we have observed that on Saturdays, it tends to be around 55% above the average, and this may happen again. For Tuesdays, which is tomorrow, we've seen that it tends to be around 56% above average. So, it's a good opportunity for NIO to go up even more tomorrow. But considering the market, we see some mild bearish divergences developing. So it's possible that the market may go down a bit in the morning. However, buyers may come in and push everything back up. So I understand that NIO might dip a bit, which is completely normal. It's not abnormal. If we use the Fibonacci retracement tool, we can count from the bottom to the top. The minimum 0.618 retracement is around the 7.64 area, and the 0.5 retracement is very close to 7.86. So I think NIO can retest 7.8, dip slightly, and then attract buyers again. If NIO can go above $8, we will need to break 8.2. If it can reach that, there's a possibility to go even higher, and we can look at NIO going up from there. So we are closely monitoring these levels. Here there's a beautiful double bottom, and we have about 4 hours left, so there's even more time to look at this critical area due to the current issue. I'll tell you where this critical area starts. Here, there's a critical area that extends to about 8.5. So I think NIO can retest 7.8 and then start bouncing up during the day. Because I believe the market will first look down for a bounce and then look for a bounce. I think NIO can go up towards 8.5. Initially, NIO may dip slightly, but then buyers can come in. Let's get close to around 4.23, maybe a slightly weaker start. Then we should look to buyers to create this bullish wedge. We believe this thing will move up to at least 26 in as little as 4 points. Well, very soon. So watch for a drop in SPY and then look for 24. It's the same for Tesla. In our view, this might cool down a bit, coming to fill this gap around 212, and then we can see an increase. I think there will be pressure from buyers around 212 down to 210. Then we should watch Tesla move towards 220 again. A drop and then a rise might be possible. The same could be true for Apple, as we have established a bearish divergence. Look for it to go down. Perhaps it can be around 172.5 or even lower. I think buyers might come in intraday and help it move up. It seems very possible to reach around 174.5 near Jerome Powell's speech. If a bearish divergence occurs, it could drop a bit, maybe retest 355, then bounce. And we might see some pressure from buyers on the way to 360. But I think more buyers might come, possibly for the first trump, and then a bounce. The same goes for Nvidia. Maybe there could be a small pullback towards 433. If not, then towards 431. But buyers will start coming and help it move towards 440 again. So what does this mean for NIO? We can go back a bit to see. I can see NIO coming back to 7.8 or slightly higher. Then buyers will start coming in because we have a bit of a bearish divergence here. And a bearish crossover is going to happen on the PPO. So buyers may come in later and help it move straight towards 8.5. The 4-hour time frame can also balance it, which can take it to 8.5. So look for a downward trend towards 7.8 from 7.9 and buyers will help it move up. Alright, so this is my forecast for tomorrow. I just want to tell you that whether we remain bullish tomorrow and the market keeps rising, remember to be a bit cautious. And this is just a very early warning. After the market closes, Jerome Powell will give a speech that can influence things. After Thursday, when the market opens, we have GDP numbers coming in that can change things. So we'll all see. Until then, my friends, look for both a drop and a rise in the market, especially around Jerome Powell's speech, and let's see what Powell does. Thank you for joining us today. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for more stock predictions and market insights. Remember to turn on the notification bell so you never miss an update. Happy investing and see you in the next video.